All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd, and my co-host is Deborah. Deborah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine tonight. How are you doing, Brian?
Pretty good. Actually, I'm pretty sick. First of all, today is Thursday, April 16th, 2009, 8:48 p.m., just for those who are watching some other time. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm still a little sick. Apparently my eyes got turned red or something, so I guess I'm contagious or something, but...
like I was telling you earlier,
on.
I really think that you have sinus and allergy problems,
even
though you didn't have a problem your whole life, because you always tend to have something going on, but then it gets worse at times.
Yeah.
And I suffer from that myself, so...
yeah, anyways, we do this again. Welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. We said we're both doing okay. Gail St. John is now in Immokalee, Florida, looking for Adji Desir, who went missing on January 10th of 2009. Gail's actually in our chat room tonight, and we'll be doing a show with her. She'll be actually hosting a show with her at 9 o'clock in about 10 minutes. So we're going to do our cases tonight. We're going to try to get to as many of them as we can. We probably only going to be able to get to one of them. Well, but let's update this real quick. Deborah, Gail's now down there in Florida. We've been talking about the Adji case today. She's been out searching. She's done a blind drive. You got any comments of what you've seen and heard so far?
I'm really, really impressed that the media is getting Adji's picture and his information out there. It's sad that Gail has to go down to Florida and physically look for him for that to happen. But I'm grateful that the media is doing that. You know, they started reporting on Adji before Gail even arrived in Florida. So I think that's wonderful. That's getting a whole lot more people aware. And we had some discussions with Gail today and looking at maps and looking up information and stuff. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Real quick, we'll bring this up on the next show too. If Gail had a GPS right there, our problems have been solved. We're trying to navigate on some back roads here. And some of these roads aren't actually marked. Some of them are dirt roads, but we're working that out. There's an area I wanted Gail to check out. Now, Gail's done a blind drive. She has some input on that, but she will bring that up on her show. I do know that some news medias have picked it up. I think NBC just did it too. So there are articles out there about Gail, but more importantly, those articles contain pictures of Adji. So as we were discussing before, that thousands of people have now seen Adji's picture just because of Gail. So that's what we wanted. So Gail, we're kind of using you in a way, but it's a win-win situation, I think. And especially when the local or major networks pick that up, I think that'll be great. This picture is what really is important.
Well, I know that, that's Gail's intention too, and
she
just that they leave her alone and her not have to, deal with that while she's working, searching for Adji during the day. If they'd interview her at night, that would make it easier, but I guess then they wouldn't get, the photos and the video and stuff that they do. And I did post some on Adji's site, but Naples News did a really great job with linking up to, they put a widget on there for Gail's Twitter. So if anyone is not already following Gail on Twitter, she is sending updates while she's out searching during the day and keeping people informed of what's going on. So that would be twitter.com/psychicgail, and Gail is spelled Gale. And then you can also receive updates from Brian from his Twitter, and that's twitter.com/Brian's Dreams. But Naples News put the Twitter widget on the article, and they also linked to Gail's website. They linked to Brian's case file for Adji on his website. They linked to a Ustream recorded video regarding Gail traveling down to look for Adji. And they, in addition to that, they linked to findadji.com.
There we go. That's what I want. Okay, cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it is. You guys are seeing a picture of Gail and Tamara. This was today. This is their vehicle. It's not the vehicle I was showing you. That was actually kind of a joke, but that's them. They're there searching. They're going to be there for a few more days. I don't know what that was. They actually have some information. They will put that out on their own show, and that will be right after this one, which is coming up really, really soon. Deborah, are you still with me? I heard a noise.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm actually reading the chat screen.
Okay.
Tamara has found out that you posted a photo of her.
Yes, I did, Tamara. Actually, I
Yes,
didn't do
that's
that.
also posted on Adji's website and other places on the internet,
You
in
know,
addition to just news
when
articles.
those vans come around and they got like numbers on the side of them, they say like news or something, and the cameras and stuff. They're actually taking pictures, and it's not for their own personal records, Tamara. Like, you know, we share stuff. So yes, we did. Anyways, that's not their car. Okay, I just wanted to make sure people were thinking that was actually the car that Gail uses in her search dogs. I guess she drives down the road, and those dogs point the way. I guess that's definitely not the case. Speaking of cases, though, let's go on. We're doing our cases from 2007, and our first case up would be Jaliek Rainwalker. Case is number 557. Let me get the graphic up real quick. I'm trying to do too many things at once. People are Skyping me. Okay, that's Jaliek right there. Am I pronouncing that right? Jaliek or Jacob?
I pronounce it Jaliek myself.
Okay, I could be wrong. Jaliek Rainwalker. The case was requested to be open sometime in, I believe, it's hard. Probably sometime in November of 2007. The case was actually opened on December 3rd of 2007. I have worked with Gail in this case. We have spoken with family on this case. We have a lot of information on this case. I have the website up, findjaliek.org, and they do have a reward, a quite substantial reward for anybody who has any information in this case. So speaking of that, what do you have, Deborah?
Actually, quite a bit. As you've said, there's a lot for his case.
Yeah.
Jaliek has been missing since November 1st of 2007 from Greenwich, New York. His date of birth is August 2nd of 1995. He was 12 when he went missing. 13 years old right now. 5 feet 6 inches tall, 105 pounds. He's biracial. He's African American and Caucasian. Brown hair, green eyes. He has slight speech impairment, and it causes him to pronounce the letter R like a W. Jaliek's nickname is Jay, and at the time that he went missing, he had blonde highlights in his hair, and his hair was styled in a 2-inch afro. When he went missing, he was last seen wearing a bright yellow fleece pullover, a gray t-shirt with a dragon on the front of it, blue jeans, and black canvas high-top sneakers. And as far as medical conditions go, it says that he has severe emotional problems and is prone to violent outbursts. The place that he was last seen was actually in his home. Jaliek is adopted, and it was his adoptive father's parents' home. So that was in the number 10 block of Hill Street in Greenwich, New York. His adoptive father's name is Stephen Kerr, and he spent the night alone in the home with Jaliek, and Jaliek went missing during the night, and he had never been heard from again after that. When Stephen Kerr woke up the next morning at about 7:30 in the morning, he claims that he found a note that Jaliek left behind saying, "Dear everybody, I'm sorry for everything. I won't be a bother anymore. Goodbye, Jaliek." And then at 8:57 in the morning, he reported Jaliek missing. It states that he was not carrying any cash with him or any credit cards, no money whatsoever. He had been living with the adoptive parents for 5 years at the time that he went missing. He spent the earlier time of his childhood in different foster homes. And at the time that he went missing, his relationship with his adoptive parents was very strained. And they had talked about reversing the adoption. But they're not sure if Jaliek actually knew that they were intending to do that. The adoptive parents say that he had a violent temper, and he was prone to tantrums, and as a result, his 4 siblings were afraid of him. He spent days just prior to going missing in a respite home, and he was supposed to go to another home that day. But he ended up going missing, so that didn't happen. He went to the respite home before going missing when he spent time in there as a result of threatening another child in the homeschool group that he was part of. And it also says that the adoptive family had a non-traditional lifestyle. In the home that they lived in rural Washington County, New York, there was no running water. The toilets were outhouses instead of, you know, bathrooms with plumbing. And the only electricity they had came from a generator that would run for several hours during the day. The family says that they live this way because it's better for our environment. After Jaliek went missing, they extensively searched the area but found no traces of Jaliek. Within a few days, authorities said that he could have met with foul play, and they came to that conclusion because they didn't feel he could survive on his own. And they did not end up ruling out, though, that he could have run away or committed suicide. Basically, they don't know what could have happened. You know, they're looking at all options. Jaliek's adopted mom, her name is Jocelyn McDonald. She did take a polygraph, but the stepfather, Stephen Kerr, he refused to take it. Both the adoptive parents maintain their innocence, and they state that they think Jaliek just ran away. They think he might be living with African-American family or possibly with a gang. And they say that Jaliek has always considered himself to be African-American and not biracial, and that he always wanted to live with African-Americans. Now, there's a lady named Elaine Person, and she's the one who was in charge of Jaliek's care the week prior to him going missing when he was in that respite home. She says that the note that Jaliek left that the father found in the morning was not a goodbye note, but it was actually a letter that the father assigned to Jaliek to write to him for homework. Now that's kind of weird. It's actually kind of creepy. Allegedly, he told his son to write the note apologizing to people for harming them. And the lady Elaine Person, who provided the respite care, was taking care of him in that home, thinks that that is the same note. She's pretty sure of that. And then after, there is a website, you do have that listed on the case file. That's findjaliek.org. That is taken care of by some former foster parents of his, the maternal grandparents, and some people that are close to the family. And this lady that took care of him in the respite care home, she thinks that the stepfather, Stephen Kerr, possibly harmed him the day he went missing, and he's the root cause of what happened. Barbara and Dennis really are the maternal grandparents in this situation, and when you refer to dealing with family, I believe it's the grandmother, Barbara, really, that you had discussions with, that you and Gail worked with. They were planning on filing for custody of Jaliek. And it happened then, well, it's been a little over a year now. In January of 2008, police officially named Stephen Kerr, the stepfather, as a person of interest in Jaliek's disappearance. They say that they have video surveillance of him driving his van around Greenwich after midnight at the time when Jaliek went missing. And that's actually when he says he was sleeping, when the dad says he was sleeping, but they have him on surveillance. They also have cell phone records for Stephen Kerr that indicate that he took a different route to the home than what he states he did. So, you know, his statements are not adding up, and he did refuse his polygraph test. And there was a letter, and I know you have information on this too. In January of 2008, there was an anonymous letter that was sent to several of the local newspapers in New York, and the letter read, "Jaliek still alive. Needed a foot soldier for this war on drugs. Picked him up Route 40, Post 30. He's okay, no fake. He says, ask his mama and papa, who are the Macaroni family. My cat named Diamond. Why this frantic yell fire? Don't try to look, we are not there." Now, Jaliek did have a cat named Diamond, and they're not sure, you know, what all of the other statements there mean. The authorities did put out an appeal to whoever wrote the letter to give more information. and they never received any more for it. They executed a search warrant on the paternal grandfather's home, and that did not give them anything. They have not been able to authenticate that note that was sent to the different newspapers. From what I've learned from researching, most say that that note is not authentic, that it didn't actually come from Jaliek, but there's no way to prove it either way. There is something that happened in the summer of 2008, and I have not been able to find any information as to how it turned out. But Barbara Reilly, who is the maternal grandmother for Jaliek, she was charged with burglarizing the home, and she pled not guilty. She actually went into the home that Jaliek went missing from to look around and see what she could find. And after, she had been charged with that, the authorities went into the home and they were able to locate a piece of clothing and take it for testing. And apparently, the grandmother Barbara really saw this clothing when she was in there. Now, I have not gotten anything that's absolutely true as far as things that I've been able to, read while researching, but what I've seen in a couple places is that it could have been the yellow fleece jacket that he was supposedly wearing when he went missing, that was actually still in the home. So, they do suspect that there could be foul play in him going missing. So, Brian, you want to share what you have on this case now?
Good work, Deborah. That's a lot of information you got there. We've really worked on this case. I think there's like 6 or 7 separate dream drawings on this case. And that man that lives in that house is a character. I'll tell you what. He's a racist, a control freak. There's a lot of things I have to say about him. Not any of them really be nice. The first dream drawings were done on December 3rd of 2007. First one says, the police have child's DNA, not releasing it to public, trash bag 622. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the child's deceased. I'll read on here. David, 39, Route 4, South Amtrak Station by River. And the next dream drawing is, it says, tattoo, white male. He knows where Jaliek is. Red jacket, brown beard. Okay, it says, I'm not sure if Jaliek is alive, but I believe he was taken by this man in a red jacket to an Amtrak station. Most likely from his home and in a car. Jaliek may have known this man. I also think the police might have this person's DNA, but might not have made it public for some reason or another. You can see there's a drawing of this man. He's got a beard, whatever. I'm not exactly sure what that's behind him. It shows the tattoo. Looking at that, wearing a red jacket, there was some type of news article that came out, and that drawing does look like the man in the picture, and that would be Carr, Mr. Carr. Going on, there's actually a couple of days later, he was wearing a red jacket. A lot of people wear red jackets, so that might not be too important, but I do think that image that I drew does look like him. Sorry, I can barely see my eyes. Anyways, it does look like him. The next one says, this is, actually I took the letter that was put out, the letter you just mentioned. I actually did it, I actually put that under my pillow, if you believe that or not. And I actually got who that letter was from. It said it was a man named Jason Heights, I believe, maybe in some place called Heights, but there's a drawing of that, and that's definitely not Mr. Carr. He's got short, he looks kind of young, short hair, kind of wavy on the top, I guess. Guys, this is case 557 if you're not following along. And then on February 18th of 2007, I did another dream drawing. It shows the same exact man. I guarantee it. A more detailed drawing. But it says his name is David Winter. I'll just read what it says. The same tattoo is there too. This says, this is from last night and seemed to confirm this man is named David. Winter might be his last name. And it says he will call home. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I mean, I don't know. I have to read more into it. And this was another request. We did some maps. We did some searching here. We seen some videos and interviews and stuff like that. We went through those. Then we did another dream drawing on March 12th of 2008. That one said Albany Amtrak Station. Once again, Amtrak Station. CCTV 4, that would be closed circuit television, maybe camera number 4. And it also says I checked on Google and believe this is the Amtrak station. It is by a river per the DD. I think he might be planning a trip to this location as well as Vermont. And there's a picture of that. A bunch of information on down there. It goes into the pictures, the letters. Another dream drawing was done. It says power pole, TRJ, blue car. You have seen this before. Go back, swimming pool. I think that might have some relevance in the case. I can't really say why, but I think it might. We did some work on that. I'm not sure where that went. And then there's more maps. And then something where somebody found a body. I guess that was not related. There's another request to do another dream drawing. And then I think I did some stuff here. This is when I worked with, had a discussion with Gail and asked her some questions. And then I was doing some weather graphing. I'm not sure why, using barometric pressure, wind speed, wind direction, and temperature. I'm not going to read that now, but yeah, I think we're trying to figure out decomposition and temperatures and stuff like that. And then that's it. I believe Larry, I think that's Dalton's father, wrote back, and I think he did something. It said from Larry, it says letter is a fake. And that's all I have in this case. I can look into it, but I think it's quite possible that he's alive. I know that other people think he might not be alive, and with good reason. But I think it's possible he could be alive. It's impossible. That's all I got on this case. Goodness. Let's quit the show. I know Gail's got a show to do. I've got to take some more aspirin or something. I feel terrible. All right, guys. So thank you, Deborah, and we'll continue this with Gail here over in Gail's chat room. So once again, go to psychicgail.com and click on chat. All right, guys. Good night.